One of my subscribers hit me with an interesting question. When I was talking about the motivation to succeed, she asked whether or not a teacher's authority plays a role in this. Back in the day, if a student wasn't motivated, it usually would fall to the parents. And if the parents couldn't do it, it was teachers in our professional capacity to motivate students to succeed. Well, if a teacher no longer has authority, will the students have that motivation to succeed? And thinking about it for a while, I realized that we as teachers have lost some of our authority. And as a consequence, maybe the students just aren't motivated as well as they should be. For example, in education reform and trying to heighten standards, they also looking at trying to cut down on the dropout rate. So we institute all kinds of programs, whether it be the credit recovery or so forth. I've already talked about credit recovery in an earlier video. But even leaving that aside, if we can't fail the students, why should the students work for us? I've heard many administrators say, find some excuse, some reason to pass them. But isn't that invalidating any authority it may have? In the adult world, you earn your job, or more importantly, you earn your ability to keep your job, because if you're a total screw-up, they just might fire you. But we as teachers are not allowed to fire students. The closer we come to firing students is if they don't, live up to the standard, the academic standards we have, they fail. But now we're being told we can't fail them. Because if we fail them, they might run the risk of dropping out. If they drop out, well, that's a black mark against the school. And you get all kinds of sanctions, whether it be from the state government, federal government, or whatever bureaucracy is picking on us. So we have to basically say, no, you can't fail anybody, even if they do absolutely nothing in your class. That's a discount of my authority. Because on one hand, we want to have the highest standards. But on the other hand, they're saying, but you don't actually have to enforce them. Students have no motivation to succeed. And I've been fighting this battle for years. A number of years ago, we introduced a summer school to cut down on the dropout rate. When the students figured out that they could spend 4 to 6 weeks in summer school and get the same grade and same credit as they would have in 9 months of school. What happened? The students would jerk around those 9 months, knowing they can get a real cheap A or B through summer school. You cannot learn all that you need to in those 4 to 6 weeks. Not if it takes us 9 weeks to cover all these demanded standards and frameworks that our states require us to teach. So yes, our authority is gone. Also our authority to even manage our classes. The classroom management and discipline issues. They always say that it's up to the teacher to maintain the classes. But what can we do anymore with these unruly students? A long time ago, of course, you would call the parents, and we still call the parents. But many parents now you can't get a hold of, or worse yet, there's nothing the parents can do, especially with the older kids. Well, what we used to do is we would, ship them off to reform school or simply suspend them. Well, we can't suspend students anymore, because then we're cheating them out of an education. We have to let them sit in class. Well, so much for teacher authority, and for that matter, even school authority. Any attempt to throw them out means, 1, less money for the school because we're not educating that student anymore, and 2, it's now viewed as a failure on our part. So maybe part of our motivation issue deals with the fact that the people who need the authority to get the job done have since lost it. I would hope that this answers the question that was posed by my subscriber, and to anyone else willing to listen.